Hello, it's Dr. Jake here. I'm a school physical therapist, and today I'm going to talk to you about hip flexor tightness. And we're going to go through a couple of activities that we can do to address hip flexor tightness. So your hip flexors are on the front of your hip, right here. They pull your hip up. So when you're walking and you need to lift your knees up to march, your hip flexors activate. They're a very important muscle, and they are very commonly tight in adults and in children. Now, with children, it is oftentimes because they are sitting too long in a chair, and in cases where they are put in a wheelchair for long periods of time. So this is a very important issue to address, because when your hip flexors are too tight, you cannot fully straighten out your hips. This leads to difficulty standing, difficulty walking, compensated patterns, crouched patterns of walking, all of which can be really detrimental and make it really hard and unpleasant to get around. So, how do we address hip flexor tightness? There's a couple of simple, easy ways to do it. The first way is getting your child to go on their stomach, doing some tummy time on a mat. So what we're going to do is have your child on a mat, on the floor, on the bed. It doesn't really matter. Just get them on their tummy. Okay? And what I like to do when I'm working on this with children is I like to have something like Legos, or have a book in front of them, let them read the book, have them draw. But anything that they can have to kind of distract, because if your child's hips are tight, this should hurt just a little bit. It should give you that stretching feeling and sensation. If you want to increase the stretch, you can place a pillow or a mat underneath your chest, okay, and that will put you in an elevated position. That will expand the stretch that you're doing, and then you can always put something underneath here to play with. Now it can be even more difficult, but if you have your child go up on their hands, on their wrists like this, that's really working a lot on that hip flexion, and it has the improved benefit of putting some pressure through the arms and really working on their upper body strength as well at the same time. And if you're doing this, a lot of the times I will have a bucket in front of them, and I'll have them put objects in the bucket. All right, so there are some simple ways we can work on hip flexor tightness. Let me know if you have any questions.